Hey everybody, welcome back to Game Esoterica. I got a fun and random episode for you guys this Friday because I figured we'd take another look at the RetroTink 4K. You guys have been asking to see more of it, but I figured I'd do it in the most esoteric way possible because I've probably found my new favorite use case for this 4K scaler, and that is making the FM Towns Marty video output not completely suck. All jokes aside, this thing, if you're not on a CRT, is a metric pain in the ass, and even if you are on a CRT, is still very strange. Before we get too far involved though, do me a huge favor, down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel some kind of want to support the channel, you got a Patreon link down below as well. But right now, I'm playing Splatterhouse on real FM Towns Marty hardware using the high resolution mode, which is a mode in the menu of some of these games because they weren't just for Marty, they were also for PC. And the FM Towns Marty has notoriously bad video output. There's nothing that the RetroTink can fix about that, but when you go into high resolution mode or any other game you play, the scaling and where it presents on your screen is an absolute mess. This is where Splatterhouse is natively on my RetroTink 4K in high resolution mode if I just let the FM Towns Marty do whatever it wants to do. You'll see here in display mode you have low resolution mode, high resolution mode, as well as a video mode and a wide mode, which is very strange and doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But this is what you natively get when you have high resolution mode on, and on my FrameMeister I could never really get the image anywhere where I wanted it to be, and on CRT it's definitely off center and not looking correct whatsoever. But the great thing is we can just take S-video footage, play around with the scaler, and get a 4K capture of Splatterhouse, and I can play this on my living room television with the screen finally filled up. Sure, it gets a little bit softer, but this is going to be basically the best image you could potentially get out of a very rare console and a great port of Splatterhouse. I'm going to have a lot more games to show you as well, because as much as I love the FM Towns Marty as a piece of hardware and as a rarity and oddity, I hate it for its video output and what it does with the screen space. Pretty much every single game is going to put the image wherever the hell it pleases. Sometimes it's going to fill the screen, but it's going to be off-centered. Other times it's going to be a postage stamp size image no matter what you do to it. Because clearly this was a PC that was converted into a game console, and a lot of that PC lineage lives on inside of it, where you'd have a monitor that would be better than a 240p television. And playing Splatterhouse in high resolution mode and actually being able to fill the entire screen is as close as you're going to get to perfection on this game outside of buying a PCB for the arcade version, which is around $2,000 last time I checked. Now let's move over to something like Outrun. This is what the game displays when you're just getting the signal in, and unfortunately not every single game actually has a video configuration. Here you can just change the game options. So if I'm playing this on my television, this is the image I get, and on my PVM this thing does not fill the screen either. I have to go into service mode. It drives me absolutely insane. Now there's more than one way to scale this thing. You can go proportional, you can go 1:1 square pixel, you can kind of do whatever you want because the FM Towns Marty never looks amazing, so just basically do what you want. But it's just been so much fun to actually get a chance to look at this console and play it in a full screen image. The RetroTink scaler and the freedom it gives you to articulate the image has been absolutely incredible for this console. It's made me actually take it off the shelf and play it more versus looking at it and thinking to myself, no Marty, you just annoy me, I don't really want to play with you today. And there's so many fun games on this system. Every time I do an FM Towns Marty video, people always love to see the hardware, and I do have an entire playlist, so check my playlist below. But again, just going through the RetroTink 4K, the S-video quality that it ingests and how it handles that signal is absolutely amazing. You're never going to get a better capture device that handles S-video all the way to 4K and gives you about as clear of a picture as the Marty is going to provide, because there is no RGB mod for the FM Towns Marty. There is no component mod for it. If it's basically able to be modded, either no one's ever done it before or I've never been able to find the information. So S-video is the best you're ever going to get out of the system, and again, with all the strange resolutions and video modes this thing uses, you're never guaranteed to get anything you're going to want to look at. But here, Outrun, I kind of like the softness, and I do like the overall softness of the Marty. And in the next game I show you, you'll understand why, and I'll explain more. But this is a great port of Turbo Outrun. It's always been one of my favorites. Sure, it's not arcade perfect, but it's great to play on the Marty. And now finally with the RetroTink 4K and all the control I have over the image, I can play this game on something that isn't just a postage stamp in the middle of the screen. But one of my favorite weird beat-em-ups of all time and one of my favorite Marty games is going to be Puli Rula. It's a mouthful to say. It's a weird game. game, but it's absolutely fun. And this also has the high resolution mode because it was developed by Ving for the port, which also did Splatterhouse, so they seem to include that video switching mode in there. Normally when you're trying to play this game in high resolution mode, this is what you're looking at. If you play in low resolution mode, the screen is like a third over to the left. But thankfully, with all of the switching capabilities we have with RetroTink 4K, I can finally play this in full screen, and it's got a great soundtrack, so listen to the RetroTink quality ingesting it, and I'll be right back with some more games. The game just has such a fun soundtrack, I had to let you listen, but what I really love about using the RetroTink 4K along with my Marty and this game is the fact that I feel like I'm actually playing a VHS tape. This is a soft image. The game always had a certain art style that lent itself to feeling that softness, but here when I'm using the scaler to go above what the actual image is on screen, that softness just gets amplified to the point where I feel like I'm watching a VHS copy of this game, and I just love that, especially those little RGB rainbows that are going through that tornado there. You can see a little bit of color, and how it interprets it on screen is just a fun look. Now again, I'm not saying this is quote unquote right. As I show you the images it normally would be in high resolution mode, you can see it is sharper, but it is not what I would classify as sharp. It still has some softness in the image. So when we actually go ahead and scale it up, especially on levels like this, with the realism as well as the cartoon nature of it, of course the pink elephant coming through the door, famous in this game, it just has a certain look and feel that really enhances the overall vibe and quality of this, and it's something that I just have never been able to do on my 4K TV without using the RetroTink 4K because my frame rates are never played nicely. Or something like Galaxy Force here, a port from Sega reprogrammed by CRI. Again, there is no option in the configuration to change the output whatsoever. This is what you normally get by default, and it looks really nice, but you're never going to get this to fill the top and bottom of the screen. On my CRT, my PVM, this game actually likes to overrun a little bit, and the Mission 1 text is basically half cut off unless I go into service mode, which is not weird. If you own CRTs or PVMs, you know pretty much everything has a different output, and it's always going to give you a little bit of a hassle until you fix it. What the nice thing is here, by the native output, the RetroTink 4K does an amazing job, but if you do want to expand it, you get close to what feels like not widescreen, but a wider screen than you normally would have. It ups the softness a little bit, and I think in a sprite scaling game like this, getting a little bit of softness in the image actually lends itself to the art style, because this is not a perfect port of this game, but it is a fun one, and that's why I've been having so much fun playing my FM Towns Marty again with the RetroTink 4K. It finally gives me the image real estate that I want out of it. I get a fun softness that gives me that kind of early 90s jankiness in that video signal, and at least on Pooley Rule's side, I kind of feel like I'm watching a VHS copy of a gameplay, except I'm actually playing it. And that's the great thing about a scaler like the RetroTink 4K. It has all the options to give you a crystal clear image, and it has all the options for you to articulate that image and mess it up as much as you would like. That's the fun in playing around with these scalers and just kind of seeing what they can do. You get to dial in whatever experience you want. You can make the image a little blurrier, a little smearier, a little softer, so you get to some place that you feel like you are happy. And honestly, I didn't even throw on any scan lines here because they're too sharp compared to the softness. At least for me, totally it's a mismatch. But this is what I've been having so much fun playing around with my RetroTink 4K. Sure, I've been doing a lot of SCART stuff, I've been doing a lot of Dreamcast and VGA, and of course I've been capturing arcade boards via RGB. But honestly, the most fun I've been having is just throwing stuff like the FM Towns Marty S video signal into the RetroTink 4K, letting it work its magic and changing the image how I want. But you guys asked for more RetroTink 4K content. I'm sure you weren't expecting an FM Towns Marty video, but I wouldn't be Video Game Esoterica if I didn't talk about a failed piece of hardware that I absolutely love. But we're done. Recommend a console for next time, and I'll see ya. Bye bye.